alam kung misconception to about laws, no? Pero may mga naririnig kasi ako na sa internet at saka minsan alingas-ngas lang kung kani-kanino is yung mga batas daw could be still be subject for interpretation. Parang flexible ba ang mga batas na pwede mong i-interpret? Kasi parang sa isang kaso, dalawang abogado maglalaban diyan, 'di ba? Parang they would have different interpretations of the law. So how does that work?
Ang mag-interpret lang talaga ng batas is yung Supreme Court. Kaya nga may jurisprudence. Oo.
Okay.
So kung ano yung nakalagay sa jurisprudence is yun yung dapat sundin. Ang problema, pag nagkaharap yung dalawang abogado, bibigyan nila ng kanilang sariling interpretation to suit their case. Oo. So it could be na isang kaso lang yung isang jurisprudence lang yung pinanghawakan nila, but they have different interpretations each to suit their respective positions.
So,
but ultimately a judge will decide kung ano yung tamang interpretation talaga ayon sa jurisprudence.
I see. So kaya nagkakaroon ng mga appeals, 'di ba? Kasi unfortunately sobrang haba ng ano eh. Kasi
tama.
Hindi ibig sabihin hindi talaga ganoon ka perfect, and do you think it is a problem that yung human, what would you call it, na parang minsan preference and understanding din siguro na it can vastly affect a decision or how a case would be tried, gano'n?
Hindi ko masyadong nakuha yung tanong mo,
Okay.
Sir.
Would you consider it a flaw in in conducting justice, yung mga gano na that yung mga laws, even though it's set in black and white, could be subject for interpretation?
Hindi naman, dahil ultimately you will submit your case to a judge. Tapos yung judge ang magde-decide. Now, if you are aggrieved with the decision of the judge, you can appeal your case to the next higher court. So, yun yung hierarchy of courts, Sir Congressman. We cannot do away with it. Ganyan talaga ang proseso. So, I cannot say if it is beneficial or detrimental, but yun talaga ang sistema ng natin, justice system, na there will always be two interpretations or two positions that need to be resolved by a judge.
I see. Kasi nga, well, I suppose kaya nagkaroon ng hierarchy of courts because the system recognizes, the law recognizes it, the need for, kasi pwede nga namang magkamali until makarating ka sa Supreme Court. Ilang levels din yun, ha? Kaya sasalain talaga.
The Supreme Court is the court of last resort. So kung ano yung magiging decision ng Supreme Court, yun na yun. Hindi na pwedeng i-appeal mo pa sa ibang wala na. No?
Okay.
Dapat may katapusan din lahat, no? Hindi pwedeng
no?
never-ending resolution of disputes, no? May hangganan talaga sa Supreme Court lang.
Pag feeling mo agree na hindi ka pa rin nakuha, then sa afterlife ka na humingi ng justisya. Parang gano'n.
Aakyat ka na lang bundok. Magrebelde ka na lang.
It's well, ganun talaga, 'di ba? Kasi nandito tayo sa mundo. Kasi anyway. Let's go to lawyering. 'Di ba? Teka. Ito pa pala, may isa akong tanong pala dito. Ano yung tingin nyo, based on your experience, ano yung mga most common reasons why people break the law?
Ang daming reason, Sir Congressman. May economic. Tapos yung depende kasi, no, yung human factor involved, no, yung human emotion, yan. Jealousy, anger, ano pa? Basta marami.
Oo.
I cannot enumerate them all.
Is there a statistic on the most
Mm.
the types of crimes that are most committed by in the Philippines? Do you think there is a need for that, or maybe we can learn things from it?
Siguro we can learn more of that from social scientists kasi
Mm.
sila yung nagka-conduct ng mga surveys na ganyan, ng mga studies na ganyan. Sa amin kasi sa mga lawyers, we have not been taught to explore on that aspect, no, of
Mm.
human activity. So ang sa amin lang, pag may kasong dumating, then we resolve it. We try to help or give assistance to clients. But in my experience as a prosecutor for 13 years, yung crime na medyo prevalent talaga is yung mga drug cases. Yun.
Ah, I see.
Estafa cases, mostly crimes involving property.
Mm.
Theft, qualified theft, carnapping. So, mostly crimes against property. Drugs, yung drugs, hindi naman crime against property yun, but isa yun sa mga common crimes na pinoprosecute namin. Of course, meron ding homicide, murder, rape, no? The
Mm-mm.
usual crimes. The common we call it common crimes.
Are there particular cases that affected you dun sa career mo na that put a mark, mga ganyan?
Yes, there was one case that affected me. I was prosecuting two policemen uh, whom I accused of being accomplices in the murder of an old woman.
Mm.
So it became so personal to me in the sense na parang I got so affected when the court acquitted the two policemen. But hindi ko na i-discuss yung merits ng case, no?
Mm-mm.
So yun yung isa sa mga medyo na ano ako na involved talaga ako personally because I felt for the victim and the family of the victim.
Wow. How did you deal with that?
Ano lang, it took a week for me to to move on. No, after a short while, I just realized na you cannot dwell, on those things. No,
Mm-mm.
you don't have control of everything. No, what is important is you do your best. No, ako kasi Sir Comics Man, I am a very passionate person in court. No, yung tingin mo lang sa akin ngayon is parang malumanay, but
Mm-mm.
what you saw during the debate is my personality in court.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Sabi ko nga, hindi, ganyan-ganyan lang yan sa video.
Di ba? You were asking me
Oo.
during the Ampalaya collab na Fiscal, ano bang magiging approach mo sa debate, di ba? You remember
Oo nga,
asking me that?
yeah.
Tapos will you be savage? Tapos ang sabi ko sa iyo, I'll keep my cards close to my chest.
Oo.
So, yun yung ibig ko sabihin that time.
Well, na-startle ang ating butihin sa yung pinakita. But so it's kasi ako kasi ito na lang, siguro magkukwento ako ng konti. Parang syempre nung bata ka, when you're a kid, parang isa sa mga pangarap ng mga tao sa isang bata ay maging abogado, di ba? So parang kaya, ikaw mag-abogado ka kaya, sabi ganyan. So naisip ko parang never kong kakayaning maging abogado, di ba? Kasi parang dun sa kasi you will have to defend people you don't like, maybe ganun, or especially I don't know about you, Fiscal, kasi lalo ikaw sa government ka. I don't know how much choice you have in choosing your
No choice.
your clients, 'di ba? You would have to defend either way. 'Di ba? How do you deal with that? It's 'di ba parang ako kasi parang hindi ko I don't even want to subject myself to that kind of decision. Kaya sabi ko hindi ako pwedeng maging abogado.
Yung abogado kasi, Sir Comics Man, is simple lang, no? Pinoproblema mo yung problema ng ibang tao. So, meron ka ng sariling problema, tapos pinoproblema mo pa yung problema ng ibang tao. But wala kaming choice no? We cannot say na, oy, hindi ko i-prosecute yan dahil ayaw ko sa pagmumukha niya, or ayaw ko siya, no? Walang fear, neither fear nor favor. So, regardless of the person involved, then you have no choice but to prosecute.
Well, at least you are a prosecutor. Paano kung ikaw yung magde-defend dun sa, kasi kung let's say rapist yung nasasakdal, nandun ka magpo-prosecute ka ng rapist, hindi ikaw yung magde-defend ng rapist. Yes. 'Di ba? At least ako pwede ako maging prosecutor siguro. Ganun ang gagawin ko. 'Di ba? Pero I can't imagine myself defending a rapist na parang to be compelled na alam kong rapist siya tapos ipagtatanggol ko pa rin. Parang for me parang hindi ko kaya yon. So but then again, I suppose there are lawyers who can do that.
Ano kasi, Sir Comics Man, kahit na factually you know that the person is a criminal or a rapist, you have to represent him in court.
Oo nga eh.
Obligation ng lawyer na mag-represent sa kanya sa court, kasi walang criminal case na magpro-proceed kung walang lawyer. So someone has to defend him. Kaya nga meron tayong public attorneys, kasi pag walang mahanap na or walang tatanggap na private lawyer sa kaso niya, then a government lawyer, as represented by the public attorney's office, will represent him in the case.
You said kanina you were a public nagpao ka rin for a couple of years, di ba? So how was that experience?
Yes,
were you hindi ko natatanungin yung mga kung nangyari. Pero how was that experience defending people na parang you think might be really guilty?
Ang prinsipyo ko kasi, Sir Comics Man, is if the person is really guilty, like let's say meron ako naging kliyente sa PAO na father siya who raped her daughter. So I asked him, ano ba talaga nangyari? Did you rape your daughter? Siya, yes, attorney. So what I told him is, nagkasala ka, then you have to decide now kung you want to proceed with the case or you have to plead guilty. So dalawa lang yan, no? Mas kami kasi sa government, Sir Comics Man, mas may discretion kami to advise clients to really plead guilty, kasi pag private lawyer ka, meron kasing pera involved, no? And it might be difficult for the lawyer to refuse. So kami, we can always convince yung mga guilty clients talaga to plead guilty para maibsan yung sentensya. Kasi meron kasing tinatawag na plea bargaining provision na kahit na nagkasala ka, pag nag-plead guilty ka, mag-mitigate yung criminal liability mo. Na instead, for example, 10 years lang, magiging 7 years na lang yung penalty of imprisonment mo, for example.
So bargaining talaga.
So we avail of bargaining para maibsan yung pagkakasala mo, provided na naaamin ka sa kaso.
Grabe, no?
But meron din talagang sigurong lawyers na kahit na rapist yung tao or guilty of a crime, for example, they will find ways to have their clients scot-free, go scot-free.
Do you think that's personal opinion lang? Do you think that's parang as a kind of what's the right word to say? Parang ang naisip ko bastardization or hindi naman.
Hindi naman siguro kasi but to be honest, wala akong empirical data to prove na meron talagang mga lawyers na ganun.
Oo.
Probably meron, but kung meron man, they're just a few. Hindi naman bastardization, but
justice, hindi
siguro,
naman.
ano kasi Sir Melo kami kasi mga lawyers, kahit na alam namin na nagkasala yung client namin, sa mata ng batas, he is still an innocent person. Meron kasing presumption of innocence.
Oo nga.
So even if he is the most guilty person in the eyes of the public, in the eyes of the law, he is still innocent until or unless proven guilty. So wala kaming guilt feeling nun. Kasi ang magpo-prove kasi ng guilt is yung prosecution. So if I am a defense counsel, and even if I know that my client has really committed the particular crime, wala akong magiging konsensya, or hindi ako makokonsensya dahil hindi naman ako ang magpo-prove ng innocence ng client ko. Because my client is presumed innocent. So ang magpo-prove ng guilt is yung kabila. So kung hindi ma-prove ng kabila yung guilt ng client ko, then my client remains to be innocent.
Yeah. Do you think yun yung parang innocent until proven guilty, yun yung naging standard eh. Do you think kunyari lang, no? Hindi ano lang, para hypothetical lang. Would it could it have been better if the opposite is applied, parang guilty unless proven innocent?
Yes.
Yun what is the benefit of choosing innocent first, assuming innocent first than assuming guilt?
Mas maganda yung presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Mas maganda nga, no?
Imagine, put yourself in the shoes of a person or under a system of government or in a criminal justice system na you are presumed guilty until proven innocent.
No. Philosophically speaking, it's
philosophically speaking, it's really hard. Yes.
So so the wisdom is really mas citizen friendly yung presumed innocence.
Yes, and at saka comics man, yung penal laws natin, yung criminal laws natin, always favor the accused. Kasi yung for a crime, in order to convict an accused for a crime, the prosecution must prove his guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Yung ebidensya na walang kaduda-duda. Dahil pag nakapag-present ng evidence yung kabila that will create doubt on the guilt of the accused, the court has no recourse, has no choice but to acquit the accused. The only problem, ang mahirap kasi yung prosecution dahil ang task ng fiscal is to prove the elements of the crime. Kung may isang elemento ng krimen na hindi mo ma-prove, ma-acquit yung accused.
So it would be grounds for not proving beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes.
Kasi nakalista talaga dun eh. Is that kasi ganun ang impression ko eh. Kaya may mga listahan na dun yung elements of the crime na for you to say na parang it's murder, merong listahan ng mga kailangan present yun, di ba? Yun yung elements of the crime na natawag. So kailangan ma-check out mo lahat yun.
Kailangan mo nakalagay, kailangan nakalagay yun lahat sa kaso, sa information, tapos kailangan ma-prove mo yung each of the elements of the crime with evidence. Kung walang may isang element ng crime na hindi mo na-prove, then the court will have to dismiss the case or acquit the accused. Because you have not proven the guilt of the accused beyond reasonable doubt.
So kahit dun sa ibang bawat present na yung iba, let's say 3 yun. So 2 present. Yes. Tapos yung isa lang ang hindi.
Yung isa wala.
Acquit yun.
Acquit yun.
Sa bagay, no? Kasi parang kaya kailangan strictly defined yung mga and yun yung mga pinagdedebatihan nila, yung mga definitions when they create laws, 'di ba?
Yes, tama.
And 'di ba what is the process of creating laws, fiscal? 'Di ba kasi parang Just going back dun sa question ko kanina about Senate. Yung mga senador yung gumagawa ng batas, di ba? At
Yes.
saka congressman. Paano yun pala? Yung sa may Congress, minsan kasi parang yung iba, diretso na sa Senate hearing eh. Parang, ang pagkakaalam ko kasi dati,
Hindi, yung
congressman muna, sa Congress muna, bago iakyat sa Senado. Diba?
I'm not so particular, Sir Comicsman, but sa pagkakaintindi ko, merong isang, for example, merong senador or merong congressman na magpropose ng batas. Ang tawag ng proposed na batas, bill. Tapos, yung bill, for example, if the bill is about public security and safety, ipapasok nila yun sa isang committee ng Senate. Tapos, yung committee ng Senate will have the option to conduct inquiries in aid of legislation to help craft that law or improve on that bill na sinuggest or in-endorse ng isang congressman or senador. So, once the bill passes the committee stage, it will go through several readings. First reading, I think, second reading, third reading, and then there will be a counterpart bill in the Senate. So, yung dalawang versions ng bill, yung House bill at saka Senate bill, will be merged into one. So, magpo-form sila ng bicameral conference committee composed of representatives of the Senate and the House. Tapos, sila na yung committee na magfa-finalize ng bill. Tapos, pag na-finalize na yung bill, as recommended by the bicameral conference committee, ibabalik yun sa respective na chambers ng Congress for approval.
Yes.
Pag na-approve, then it will become a law that needs to be signed by the President. So like yung RA 11648, no, that was a creation of bills filed in both houses, the Senate and the House. So it was merged into one, and then this improved version of the bill, ito yung ipinasa dun sa President for his signature. Kasi a bill will not become a law without the approval of the President. So, ang tawag doon is legislative bill. Dadaan pa yun sa maraming pagbubusisi.
Yes.
No? Revisions, amendments, until the bill will be in its final form for the approval of the President.
And the President can also veto na hindi niya i-approve, di ba?
Yes, meron siyang veto power, yes. Yes.
Hassle yun, no? Kung ang tagal na tapos i-veto.
That's part of the checks and balances system in our constitutional government.
Tapos isang tao lang yung mag-approve final, no? Pero I suppose it works, no? Kasi ganoon naman halos lahat ng gobyerno sa mundo eh, na may demokrasya, di ba? Na merong katulad ng sistema natin. So pero ang essence is kasi parang to a common person, a law is just something na nakasulat, 'di ba? Pero kung paano naging nakasulat siya, pinagdebatihan niya ng mga tao, ng mga congressman, ng mga senador, and these are philosophical ideas that philosophical based on expertise.
And then hindi lang mga senador, they will invite also experts to give suggestions on a particular law, like yung pag-craft ng RA 11648, raising the age of sexual consent from 12 to 16. They consider the recommendation of these UN committees recommending that the age of consent be raised from 12 to 16.
Yes.
So, recommendation yung ng mga eksperto na nagtataguyod sa kapakanan ng mga bata at kababaihan.
And I suppose those experts would be, let's say, social workers, diba? Would include social workers or NGO people or medical mga psychologists, medical people. So not particularly kailangan abogado yung mga nandun, 'di ba? Kasi let's say let's say kasi yun ang isang impression na kailangan abogado ang 'di ba? Ang gagawa ng batas.
Hindi naman kasi wala kasing monopoly of knowledge. Merong mga disciplines na kailangan talagang pakinggan din, like yung sabi mo, yung mga experts, so-called experts.
Like let's say
So
kung
before
sorry.
a bill becomes a law, ang daming i-consider doon, no? Hindi lang
Yes.
yung voice ng mga lawmakers, pati na yung mga different sectors ng society.
Yes. Like let's say kung batas to tungkol sa let's say the building code, gagawa ka ng batas, 'di ba? Siyempre kailangan mo ng mga
So,
arkitekto, mga engineer doon. Hindi mo naman
tama,
kailangan
civil
ng abogado
engineers,
doon
yes.
'Di ba? Kailangan
Tama.
mo yung abogado to maybe to word the law properly or
To check the legality of the provision. Yes.
pero yung essence ng batas na yon would come from the wisdom of people na involved doon sa mga gumagawa doon and
Yes,
maapektuhan.
Tama.
Yun. So,
Yun.
konti na lang. Meron pa dito.
No, it's okay.
Sige.
It's okay.
But I think, kasi gusto ko ng pag-usapan yan kasi I think there have been a lot of misconceptions, not just on social media, na parang kahit nung lumalaki ako, na I suppose kasi I recognize yung importance of course of lawyers, 'di ba? And yung I recognize that to become a lawyer you have to prove a lot and kumbaga you need to be of certain caliber of a person, 'di ba? To become one. And I recognize I have nothing against lawyer, pero there are times kasi that na parang lawyer lang yung magaling. 'Di ba? Hindi naman I don't think that is the case. Na parang I think wisdom kumbaga parang ini-equate kasi nung ibang mga tao na parang lawyer equals knowing it all about society, about law, about government. Sometimes naman yung government hindi nga alam nung nung ibang lawyer eh. 'Di ba kasi iba naman yung madaming aspeto ng government, hindi lang tungkol sa batas. 'Di ba? So there is this what's the right word? Hindi naman siguro bother, no? Pero ano yung impression, how do you take that impression na lang siguro of parang lawyers, the reputation of lawyers being having people expect so much from you guys?
How do I say this? Mataas kasi yung tingin ng mga tao sa lawyers, especially sa probinsya, Sir Comics Man. Ang taas ng tingin nila sa amin, no? They see us as learned men na we are like a cure to their ills, no? Parang ganun. No, nga pag nakipag-usap sila sa abogado, parang ang ini-expect nila na magliliwanag yung problema nila, no? Parang ang daming expectations bilang isang abogado, no? Na they think they can solve all your problems, but in truth, isang aspeto lang ng buhay ang importante ang isang abogado pag may kaso ka or pag may mga legal problems ka na kailangan mo ng consultation. Yun lang yun. So parang na kasi it has been implanted in our consciousness na ang taas ng tingin ng tao sa abogado. Yung abogado lang nga ang parang fiesta kung nagba-bar exam. So diyan pa lang, no? Diyan malalaman mo na mataas talaga yung pagtingin ng mga tao sa mga abogado.
Well, I have nothing against that naman. Na parang kasi a lot of lawyers are really deserve it, 'di ba? And hindi naman biro talaga yung
yes, hindi talaga
diba?
biro.
Hindi talaga biro. Like just like any other profession, pag nag-succeed ka doon, especially if you become really successful as a lawyer, 'di ba? And
Tama.
I'm not, pero I think yung I suppose it can be good din sometimes, depende na kung sino yung abogado, diba? Diba? Kasi hindi mo naman masisisi kasi parang kumbaga when you become a lawyer, you become a part of an elite group of people whether you like it or not, 'di ba? It's meron talagang elite characteristic on becoming a lawyer. And I recognize that, pero to say that lawyers, or to think, have the impression of just because you're a lawyer you are the answer to everything, like you said, parang cure to all illness, 'di ba? Para siyang tawag doon yung Boston C. Shout out kay Doc Adam. And then lahat ng sakit pinapagaling. Well, and siguro pwede kong idagdag pa doon, and people would automatically lower themselves na parang, ay, ano siya, abogado kasi siya, parang ganun. I don't know. I suppose it's it's human instinct na rin, no?
Because to become a lawyer is really hard, Sir Comicsman. Diyan siguro nagsisimula yung paghanga ng mga tao sa abogado dahil we have to go through several layers before we can get our license.
Yes.
So 4 years of law school, ang dami mong dapat pag-aralan, hindi lang criminal law, civil law, political law, taxation law, all aspects of human activity na merong batas na nag-govern. So ang tawag nga is from womb to tomb. Simula lang nasa sinapupunan ka pa ng nanay mo, meron ng batas na nag-govern sa iyo. Like bawal yung abortion, di ba? Abortion is a crime. So yung fetus pinoprotektahan na ng batas. Dahil meron tayong crime na abortion. So tanan naman yung lahat ng aspects na yun. Sorry, nakalimutan ko.
Okay
lahat
lang.
ng aspects ng human activity, merong batas na nag-govern. Kaya hindi naman siguro kung isang aspeto lang ng batas, hindi naman masyadong mahirap, pero dahil sa dami ng provisions na pag-aaralan mo, mahirap talaga maging abogado.
Tama naman talaga 'yon. Teka. About lawyers pa rin. So, yung 'di ba, yung ano ba yung bar? Ano 'yan? Ano ba 'yon? Ano ba yung bar? I'm gonna ask the stupid questions for the sake of everyone. Ano ba yung bar? Bakit importante 'yon, and ano 'yun?
Yung bar is similar to a board exam, no? Yun yung dapat mong yan ang exam na dapat mong ipasa para mabigyan ka ng lisensya bilang abogado, mabigyan ka ng roll number.
Bakit bar ang tawag? Hindi board exam.
Yung bar kasi is parang parang how do I say this? Parang symbolic yan ba na in a courtroom merong bar separating the public from the lawyers.
Okay.
'Di ba? So in a typical courtroom, although sa Pilipinas siguro wala nang masyadong ganyan, merong bar separating lawyers from the people in the gallery. So yan yung parang symbolic na symbolic na name yan, na hindi ka makakaupo doon sa table of lawyers, sa mga seats nga afforded to lawyers, kung hindi ka abogado. Dahil merong bar. Or pwede rin yan na ano bang tawag doon?
So basically yan yung history ng bar.
I think yan siguro yung symbolic meaning niya, kaya bar ang tawag.
I see. Okay, so parang siya, cultural, kaya
But
I see, kaya
but
bar.
i-check ko, Sir Comicsman, baka magkamali ako.
Ay, sige. Well, sige. Ano
Kami
na lang,
kasi
Google.
medyo ka kasi, may pagka-philosophical ka kasi ako in my case, nung nagkuha ko ng law, abogasiya, hindi ko na tinanong kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng bar. To be honest, when I took up law, gusto kong maging abogado, ang tawag doon bar exam, hindi ko na tinanong ano bang etymology ng bar? Saan ba
Oo.
galing yung word na bar? So, kahit magtanong ka sa ibang lawyers or sa ibang mga law students, hindi nila alam kung ano talagang ibig sabihin ng bar.
Oo.
Oo.
Nobody bothered to teka,
Nobody bothered to ask. Nobody bothered to
bakit
ask.
ba bar? Kasi parang inaano ko siya, bakit
Yeah.
so
Pwede
ano
mo
ba yung bar? Parang
pwede
yung
mo
iba
i-google
board.
ngayon.
O sige, teka, hanapin natin. Sa bar law. Hindi ko mahanap yung
Tama ako. Tama ako, Sir Comics Man.
Mm-mm.
Meron ako.
Ayun, sige.
The term bar originally refers to the physical barrier that separated the public from the space where judges, lawyers, and other court officials work.
Oo.
Over time, the term bar came to refer euphemistically to the legal profession as a whole, in reference to the fact that the barristers and lawyers carry out their profession beyond the physical bar.
Yun.
The bar exam is so called because you have to pass it in order to be allowed beyond the bar in a professional capacity. So tama ako.
Tama. Oo nga, nabasa ko rin sa nabasa ko. Tama si Fiscal.
So, pwede ka lang makaupo doon sa seats na afforded to lawyers and judges pag abogado ka.
So
Kaya merong bar.
So parang siya, parang historical yung
Yes,
reason kung bakit bar.
Yes.
I see. So ano kaya yung board? Meron bang may board, di ba? Saka that's for a question for another day. Board. Siguro na yung iba ang harang plywood lang sa bar. Anyway. Pero ano ba yung mga tawag dito, may mga community ba ang mga attorney?
Yes.
Kala ko kasi sorry. Yung kasi parang Integrated Bar of the Philippines.
Yes,
ano ba 'yon? Ano siya ba? Kailangan ba siya or parang sa akin kasi pag naririnig ko sa mga balita, parang napaka-importante ng opinion nila parang ganoon Ano ba 'yon?
Yan ang professional organization na mandatory for us to be a part of that group.
Is it government
When you become a lawyer, you have to become a member of the IBP. You have to pay dues, no? And you have to abide by certain rules, no?
Hindi
Kaya
pwedeng hindi?
Creation ng hindi pwedeng hindi. Creation yan ng Supreme Court.
Meron
talagang IBP dahil ang IBP siya yung serve as check on lawyers.
I see.
Siya ang bale liaison officer between the Supreme Court and the legal profession. Pero the IBP is composed of lawyers. Yung president ng IBP, lawyer, lahat puro lawyers.
Okay. So what are the official responsibilities of a lawyer?
Depende. Like what I said kanina, you have to distinguish between government lawyers and private lawyers. Kung private lawyers, your main responsibility is to help the cause of your client, no? Make sure that the interests of your client are protected, no? Ganon din sa government lawyering, no? You have to follow certain rules. Like for example, in the case of prosecutors, then we have to do our best, no, to protect the interest of the state.
I see. What are the typical aspirations of a new law student? Na parang pangarap ko sa maging ganito ako pag naging abogado ako.
Typical yan, no? Of first week of law school, first year, ang dami pa nila, no? After a month, parang one half nag-drop out na.
Talaga?
Kasi yung yes. Ang dami ng mortality, ang high ng mortality rate sa law school.
Hindi naman literal na mortality.
No, hindi literal.
Nag-drop out.
Hindi literal.
Oo.
Nag-drop out.
Oo.
So during the first sem, ang dami pa nila, no? Mga 2 sections.
Mm.
Pag second sem, isang section na lang, tapos 30 na lang sila ng mga students.
Sa
So,
graduation, ilan na lang? 5.
Kasi maliit na law school lang kami.
Okay.
During pag fourth year na sila, usually mga 8 or 10 graduates lang kami.
Oh.
Kasi hinahasa talaga yung mga estudyante para yung sino lang yung deserving na umapak ng fourth year, makaabot ng fourth year, yun lang yung i-allow. Kasi pag fourth year ka na, malapit ka na mag-take ng bar.
So, yung typical law student ba would dream to become a justice, ganyan, or what? A firm owner?
So far in my 16 years of being a professor, wala pa akong narinig na gusto nilang mag-justice. Ang gusto lang nila is gusto nilang mag-abogado. Yun lang. First step to become a lawyer.
Tapos just see and find out na lang.
one step at a time. Yeah.
Okay. Unless siguro so they come from a lawyer
usually
family.
They have,
diba?
Yes. Usually they have high hopes, no? They are excited, no? Tapos after a week, medyo takot na dahil serious na yung mga professors, no?
Talaga? Paano ano yung expectation pag pumasok ka ng law school? Are you a terror prof? Do you have a reputation na gano'n? Hindi naman.
Terror ba yung
Secret.
hindi ko ma-define kung terror ako, comics man, but if I have to be a tiger, I will be a tiger.
Okay. Kung kailangan. Kung
kailangan, yes.
So reasonable naman yung mo,
lenient ako, but when it comes to exams, no? Dapat pumasa ka. So dapat you'll meet my standard, because if you don't meet my standard, then at the end of the semester, medyo dehado ka sa grading. Mababagsak ka talaga.
Well, I suppose if there are students of Fiscal EJ watching this, you can comment. Kung terror.
Yeah, they know.
Para alam nila. Para alam ni Fiscal EJ kung sino ang ibabagsak niya. Hindi, joke lang. Anyway, it's
I am reasonable enough naman, although hindi maiwasan talaga, comics man, na meron talagang hindi aabot sa standard ng hindi papasa.
Well, based on the photo that you posted with your students, I suppose you are a well-loved.
Konti lang.
I suppose you are a well-loved, or at least loved enough for them to
love enough. Yes, love enough. And then they were so happy when they learned of the news, no, na nanalo tayo sa debate.
Oo nga.
So sabi nga nila, Fiscal, kahit na ibagsak mo pa kami, proud pa rin kami na maging students mo. So parang naawa ka na sa kanila ba, no? Sige.
Oy, pero kung
they were so happy, no? They were so elated na a professor, ang teacher nila is nanalo in an event such as that debate, no?
You can consider that as a national event, 'di ba? Kasi buong hindi kasi hindi man national na sponsored, pero
yes,
global nga may mga nanonood doon from
tama
from all over the world. And kung ako kung professor din kita, syempre matutuwa rin ako. Especially if
you can probably notice, Sir Comics Man, na iba yung demeanor ko ngayon kesa sa doon sa actual debate, no?
Oo nga 'di ba?
Parang mahiyain ako. Hindi nga ako makapag-express, parang nahirapan ako mag-express kasi mahiyain talaga ako, but when it comes to when the going gets tough, so to speak, I can also be tough.
So yun na, again to students and former students of Fiscal EJ who are watching, you can write your testimonials in the comment section.
I will ask them to subscribe to Comics Man.
Ay, thank you. Okay. So, yun. Ano pa ba? Pero syempre, 'di ba, may mga privileges ang mga lawyers, 'di ba? Kaya nga siguro may mga kumbaga may mga certain decorum that's expected from lawyers is because meron talagang mga responsibilities and privileges, 'di ba?
With great power comes great responsibility.
Oo nga eh.
Parang ganun.
Doon sa live ni Melo, yung una nating live fiscal, parang we talked about yun nga, yung mga CPRA ba yun? Yung mga ethics na ginawa
Code
dun
of
sa...
Professional Responsibility. Code of Ethics ng lawyers, yes.
So, I suppose that had always existed, no?
Yes, but the new Code of Ethics now has a new provision. Ang tawag doon, responsible use of social media. Kasi alam din naman ng Supreme Court na marami na ring mga lawyers na gumagamit ng social media, and the Supreme Court has advised lawyers to be prudent and circumspect in their social media activities.
What are the things that were mentioned in that new guideline?
Sa pagkaka-remember ko lang is you must be careful in the information you are giving in social media. So as wala namang taong hindi nagkakamali, but as much as possible, since you are a lawyer, people listen to you. Your word is a cure to their ills, so to speak, no? So you also have the responsibility to make sure that the information you are spreading on social media is closer to the truth. It may not be the whole truth, but at least it's closer to the
Facts.
closer to what should be the proper interpretation of the law.
And but then again, do you think it is ano ba? Do you think it's enough or too much? Or tama
Enough
lang,
or too
diba?
much?
Kasi everybody has the right to speak naman, 'di ba? So
yes,
'di ba? So do you think that encroaches your ability to speak freely?
Hindi naman, kasi yung freedom of expression kasi, Sir Comics Man, is not absolute. So meron kang freedom, meron ding responsibility involved. So the higher your position, the higher your educational attainment, or the higher your profession, then the greater is your responsibility to society. So hindi yan affront to our right to freely express ourselves.
Do you think that's
with
a
more
hindrance?
with more reason that we should be careful with what we spread on social media, because people listen to us.
Tama. Like the Spider-Man quote nga, 'di ba? So you
Yes,
have no, kumbaga wala kang objection doon.
Wala. Because that comes with the territory.
What do you mean territory?
That comes with being a lawyer.
Okay. Kumbaga like
Kasi pag nagbigay ka ng maling advice on social media, it might spread like wildfire, no? Maraming tao ang maniniwala, tapos yun ang susundin nila. So mahirap 'yan, no? If it goes unchecked.
Yeah. Definitely, no? Lalo na kung... And how frustrating is it for you when you na may ganong nangyayari na parang there are lawyers who would spread misinformation, so to speak?
Hindi naman siguro pa ganun ka prevalent yung misinformation. Wala naman akong nakikitang talaga na parang malala na yung pag-spread ng misinformation. So far wala pa. But kung meron man, I don't know. Depende na lang kung may ma-encounter ako na ganyan, then but in general, of course, no, ayaw mong may mangyaring ganyan.
How about lawyers parang acting ano bang tamang word? Maybe undignified, unlawyeresque. Na parang di ba merong mga, let's say, hindi, you can say siguro nakakahiya yung mga ginagawa na parang, alam mo yun, na parang hindi respetable yung mga makikita when they carry themselves in public. Anong mga masasabi mo pag ganun?
As much as possible kasi, Sir Comicsman, ayaw kong even comment in general, no? Kasi baka may mga lawyers din na matatamaan.
I see. Okay.
But the usual reaction, no? Kahit na hindi mo kaparehas ng profession, let's say if you see a doctor doing something unkindly in social media, parang parang ano ka rin, no? Parang natitaken aback ka rin, uy, ba't niya ginawa yun? So, applicable naman lahat ng klaseng professions, lahat ng klaseng activities, no? Pag merong unsightly, ungodly, or unkindly na ginagawa ang isang tao, you'll always react, no, negatively.
Kahit
but that's the reason why there is this code of ethics for lawyers, dahil it serves as our Bible, no? It serves as our guide to what we should do in social media, not just in social media, but in the way we deal with people, with our colleagues, our courts. Merong tinatawag na fourfold responsibilities yung isang abogado.
For what? I'm sorry?
Fourfold responsibilities. Responsibility to your client, responsibility to your community, to the courts, no? To your colleagues. So merong mga guidelines doon na dapat mong sundin. And it is all codified, contained in our code of ethics.
Well, I suppose tama talaga na may ganun kasi it's with the reverence na allotted to lawyers, especially by the public,
yes,
diba? Kasi parang siguro kasama rin yun, no? Na parang kaya revered ang mga lawyers sa society natin. Na parang kasi kasama yun na parang you are expected to carry yourselves a little bit better siguro. So would that be fair to say, diba? Kasi lawyer ka eh. Diba? Kumbaga, you're supposed to be a learned man. You're supposed to be know things that the common folk would not. Diba? It's,
tama.
So, ito, siguro matatapos na tayo, Fiscal, no? So,
Sige.
What do you... Teka.
Pasensya na talaga sa Tagalog ko, Sir Comicsman, no? Medyo nahirapan talaga ako mag-express in Tagalog.
No. Speak in English if you must. Okay lang yon. Ito, siguro
mas maganda kasi pag Tagalog kasi parang mas marami yung nakakaintindi ba?
Oo nga.
Ang problema ko lang is dapat magsanay na talaga ako mag-Tagalog.
Sige. I'll help you any way I can.
Baka in time. I might be this
Magano tayo, mag-podcast tayo. Practice lang 'yan eh, 'di ba?
Tama.
Mag-podcast tayo frequently. Ito, isang what is a good lawyer for you? Tingin mo. So, what would you expect your best students to become? Mga parang ganun.
A good lawyer is someone who is an example to his students. Like, ang reputation niya sa trabaho niya, dapat makita ng mga tao na he performs his job well. No? In my case as a prosecutor, not to lift my own bootstraps, Sir Comicsman, I always try to study my cases, no? Before hearing date, before the trial date, no? Kahit na, let's say, in a particular day, nakahilera yung mga 8 trial cases na inaapiran ko. So I always make it a point na before I present a witness to the witness stand, kinakausap ko muna. Mahirap nun, kahit isang case lang. Oh, you have to you have to prep your witness. You have to study the case. So as much as possible, the people who know me here in Ormoc City know that I am so passionate when it comes to trials of cases. So I think nakikita nila yon sa practice ko, kaya medyo I have earned a reputation na as a fiscal, stricto, si fiscal, but in a good way. In a good way. And I think that is one thing that my students can learn from me. No? And I always tell them na in everything you do, whatever it is, you should always be passionate about it. So when they learn of the news that I won in the debate, they ask me, "Sir, ano ba yung ginawa niyo para maging confident kayo dun sa debate?" Kasi ang sa tingin nila during the debate daw, I look so confident, no? Calm, composed, no? I told them, preparation lang talaga. Because nothing beats preparation, and then of course, never underestimate your opponent. And yun lang, no? Yung passion, discipline, and then I think ang tingin kasi sa mga tao, sa mga abogado is parang may angas, di ba? But in my case, parang wala akong angas as a lawyer. Naman. Parang ganun lang. Parang ganun lang. Oh. So, simple, lang. I look like a simpleton if people see me. Parang just like any other ordinary guy. So, I think yun siguro ang pwede kong ma-leave na legacy in so far as lawyering is concerned, no? I know I am a prosecutor, but hindi ako conscious na prosecutor ako. Parang ganun ba? If I talk to you, if I talk to Melo, I always treat them as equals.
And that is one thing that
wala akong aura of
superiority.
How do I call this? Superiority, parang ganun. Because ang belief ko kasi, Sir Comicsman, marami akong matututunan even from those who are not lawyers like you. Ang dami kong natutunan sa'yo. Kay Melo, sa ibang tao, sa mga... So, wala talaga akong aura of superiority if you see me. Wala talaga.
I can attest. And actually, when I first met you on Zoom, when we were parang having a dry run, na sabi ko ba, and for you to nung nalaman ko na you are asking Melo to help you out, parang 'di ba, parang yung talaga 'di ba, you have the humility, because that's what I see in it 'di ba. Yung iba, so like I said, people are mocking you for doing it. They think na parang yung iba pa nga parang ang dating parang nandadaya ka, 'di ba? Tapos parang kasi siya ganyan. Basta
paano ba nangyaring paano ba naging pandadaya 'yon?
Kaya nga pwede na, wala namang nakalagay na hindi sila pwedeng gawin ng na gawin nila 'yon themselves, 'di ba? 'Di ba? Pwede din naman sila
kailan naging pandadaya or dirty tactics yung dry run? Ano ba? Wala naman akong inargabyadong tao in so far as preparing for the debate is concerned.
'Di ba? At saka,
so,
if you think na kung hindi mo ginawa, if you chose not to do it, then that's on you. 'Di ba?
And considering that this is an online debate, this is my first time to engage in an online debate. So, hindi talaga ako marunong sa mga teki-teki na ganyan. Hindi ako. Ngayon lang ako naka-encounter, ngayon ko lang nalaman na meron palang StreamYard. So, sipin mo.
'Di ba?
So,
parang ang naisip ko kasi
I have not tried going live on YouTube. So, everything is new to me. So, kaya I ask Melo to help me. I ask you na if you can assist me in preparation for this debate, and fruit of our labor. 'di ba?
Kaya nga eh.
Nanalo tayo.
And I am very proud to be part of this
Yes, yes,
endeavor. 'Di ba? Tapos kaya hindi ko sabi ko, talaga bakit ganyan? 'Di ba? Why can't you just be gracious? It's so disappointing. 'Di ba? And then you when you did your thank you note, 'di ba? It is so respectful. You're not even gloating.